Hello, Joe and Ashley. Well, thank you for taking time to chat with me tonight. How are you?
We're
Doing
doing
really
we're doing
well.
great. Yeah, it's good to see you.
Great. Good. Well, yeah, I wanted to kind of give whoever's watching, I don't even know anymore, and the internet, a little idea or of what they're going to expect. So as much as I can explain, it's just like, it's just going to be like just a real nice thing. Just come, just convince people. Just try it.
Right.
It's going to be real beautiful. Maybe explain a little bit, like what can we expect at your show?
Well, there are opportunities to participate with some gentle, mindful movement, some vocalizations, and basically your awareness. So, coming with, expect to do stuff, but not really do, but more be. So
It's not work.
it's not work.
No.
It's kind of retreat,
Yeah. I think people get a
So
little afraid of the word vocalization.
ah,
There's
Ah.
a lot of, there's a lot of shame and embarrassment surrounding singing in front of people.
hmm
So, what kind of vocalization do you mean? What are you thinking of?
So, to sort of break the ice a little bit, what we will be doing is a very low pressure, high uh, relaxation
high
type.
relaxation.
Yeah, I
I
don't
like
want to say
that.
high
High.
vibe, like very relaxed, vocalization piece, collective improvisational piece by Pauline Oliveros,
Mhm.
and that will kind of set the set the mood a little bit.
You have
Basically,
choice in that too. You can listen.
yeah, you.
You can very quietly hum. Like
Yeah.
there are so many different levels of participation. You could be a louder
True.
singer if that's something you
hmm
enjoy,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's choices throughout.
Right.
Woven throughout.
And it's not at least to start, we're not going to like be amplifying or putting anything center stage, so it's going to be very sort of collective, like you're lying down. I don't really necessarily know how we're going to instruct people to be like whatever
Mhm.
positioned, but my guess is that it's going to be very um, informal in
Mhm.
nature and decentralized, and uh, and this isn't by any means the only thing that will be happening that night. So it's like
Sure.
it's not all about interaction. If you don't want it to be,
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be at all. If you're just totally uncomfortable and you're totally clammed up, no big deal. No,
Be
not
with
even any not
be
even
with
any
that.
judgment. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like whatever you want to do. But there are
Perfectly valid.
invitations to do these things, right?
Mhm.
And so, and I personally think it would be kind of fun to do, but you don't have to. And yeah.
Well, talk a little bit about that. So, like Pauline Oliveros is this very special jewel.
She is.
She was this incredible life force in that kind of shook up academic established, composer music, this sort of breaking from the legacy of boundaries of what, Beethoven and all these things. I have
Oh
so
yeah.
many feelings about her.
hmm
But so these tuning pieces are all just another way to kind of help connect people, because there's a very literal, tangible vibration
Yeah.
that comes out and comes back in, that you can feel, kind of electrifying a room. And so why start with this?
Well, we will be experiencing quite a lot of that interconnected vibration. throughout the night. And so my thought was to get everybody on the same page. Better to kind of dive right
Mm-hmm.
in some sense, but then in another way, it's true. It's um, in some way, it's like jumping into the deep end of a pool, but then in another sense, because it's less mediated than some of the other
Yeah.
experiences that we will be
Mm-hmm.
having, I feel like it's there. The barrier to entry is a little bit lower,
Mm-hmm.
and it's much more direct too. I mean, it's very, you're absolutely right. Pauline has this sort of in your face is not the right way to put this, but there's a right way. I just can't think of it right now. But it's sort of like that, where it's really about communication in this like very direct, like bare bones, like what is the minimum possible statement that I can make to
Mm-hmm.
make this about, interpersonal experience.
Yeah, and that it's changeable, right? That each person, of course, experiences things differently. There's anxiety associated with it.
Mm.
There's maybe freedom. People find freedom in just sort of just sort of letting out a groan.
Yeah.
And then maybe people can kind of confront these sorts of things. And I mean, there's it's just such a powerful gesture of just open your throat and just let it out. You
Hmm.
know, it's such a simple thing. It's a thing we all do. It's this thing we all share. So let's all do it together and see
Yeah.
what that feels like. Yeah.
And I feel like the structure in which, or the set of assumptions in which that sort of experience uh, is situated is more, it provides a little bit of a smoothness, a lubrication socially,
Mm-hmm.
because we're at this show and
Yeah.
we're talking about Pauline Oliveros.
Yeah.
Her just very existence, her very identity provides us with this set of expectations, at least for people who are aware of who she is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so part of the idea, I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but this is my belief, I think, that having those sets of expectations around at least the initial, set of experiences will make it easier for people, like as an entry point. It's a common thing that it can be known, it can be
Yeah.
talked about, it can be pointed to,
Yeah.
and shared.
Yeah.
In agreement.
Good. I'm glad I didn't get that wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Hmm.
So then from there, where are you going to take us?
Into some contemplations, um, and some embodiment of awareness and grounding and sensing this being in this warm human body that moves and sways, and the connection to, in some ways, the great mother essence of the world, and uh, the radiant heart that is within us all.
Mhm.
So there'll be a little bit of a touch of metta in there.
Mhm.
It'll sound differently than, if you're familiar with metta, a little different than what you might be used to.
Mhm.
Um, an opportunity to contemplate, visualize, and just be with what arises.
Mhm.
Um, so we hope to also provide an environment of safety and,
Mm.
um, yeah, grounded safety
Yeah.
in which somebody can sit, be with, participate as they like. And I think we're accomplishing that. Like, I think that, there's a high, people are highly likely to feel comfortable.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I think there's something about specifically the two of you together, and that using more of electronic based drones,
Mm.
using something that is maybe inorganic and meshing it with the organic. I think is has I don't know. There's a really disarming thing about it,
Mm.
that if people are like meditation curious that this might be the entry point, you know, because
Yeah.
thinking about meditation, I think also can be very stressful because
Mm.
it's of course not about just like, okay, empty your brain, don't
Oh
think
yeah.
about the pink elephant.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Right,
Have
right,
no
right,
thoughts.
right.
Like what?
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
What? No,
Yeah,
it
that's
ain't
not what
that.
we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Sure, that feeling of being
Mm.
accompanied or held within a space
Mm,
through the sound
mhm.
provides that extra, yeah, what you're saying, entry point or way
An
to be
occasion
curious
for,
about it.
yeah, embodied
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess it'll like, how did you guys, I don't know, what do you guys, what was I gonna say? It was something about the sort of like active listening. I had a
Hmm.
brilliant question formulated, and now it's gone. But I'm gonna ask it very stupidly. So like
Okay.
active listening, huh? What is
Yeah.
that?
So again, in this
So stupid right now.
experience, in this experience, just like the other experience we had with you and Project Blank, we're inviting people to come listen with a freshness, new ears, almost as with that veil of mystery yet belonging and knowing.
Hmm.
So hearing the vibrational quality of sound and perhaps loosening around the tendency to conceptualize and analyze and narrate. Um,
Hmm.
so that is kind of, I don't know, kind of a theme that we had when we provide sound meditations, is that invitation to the
Yeah.
beginner, the infant almost of
Beginner's ear.
beginner's
Yeah.
ear.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I like that. I like that what you're saying about kind of dismantling or acknowledging the brain's sort of um, just I don't know, just sort of constant need to define and create patterns and
Mhm.
to put connections together when it can just be, you know, about being this one little
Yeah.
moment, this one little
All those
sound.
things so
But
important.
yeah, I
I mean,
mean,
all
Yeah.
those
there's
things
nothing wrong
serve
with
us.
all that,
They
you
serve
know.
us so well in the relative most
Mhm.
of the time, but yet there's that other aspect of the mind.
Right. And sometimes to get there, you just have to look at the mind doing what it does.
Yeah.
And then there's not really much else to it. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
like, oh, I have to stop this activity that I'm doing. No, that's
Mhm.
not really necessary,
Yeah.
most of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. So if you were to like if you were to like put it in like a sentence,
Hmm.
how would you what would you say? What is this show?
Oh, God.
I know, I know, I know, I know. It's impossible.
I think I have to defer to you on that.
Oh my God.
Well, I could
um,
try, but I don't want to, you know, I
Well,
don't
I
want to be
like
the one to
I
put a
like your
box
sort of
around
your
it.
closure where it's just like come ready to chill hard.
Oh
You
yeah.
know? Yeah, that's it, right? That it's just
Yeah.
it's not scary. Meditation or sort of exploring a more contemplative or meditative state doesn't have to be so
Yeah.
off-putting. It is so welcoming. It is so nurturing, and the two of you are so nurturing. I just want to like spoon the both of you.
well,
uh,
thank you.
yeah, you know.
There will be
um,
yoga mats on the floor at the
yeah.
show. That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, bring blankets and stuff too. I think
Mhm.
we've already said that, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's gonna be it's an experience of um like sound, but also just your mind, and it's the
Mhm.
most natural thing that you can do. It's not, yeah, it's not hard.
New year, new you. Or
Sure.
whatever.
Or same you.
Or same you.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, good job. That sums it up.
Okay.
Or yeah,
One
or same
sentence.
you.
Or yeah, same you.
Yeah. Whatever. Well, Well, thank you guys so much. I love you both. I'm so looking forward to this experience. As someone who is to be perfectly honest, when I was saying that people feel anxious about going into meditation, that was
Mm.
obviously me projecting. I feel anxious about things like this, about slow music. It always just makes me
Mm.
feel like something needs to happen, and then I get over it, and then I'm like,
Mm.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
Okay, Leslie.
Yeah.
Chill out. What's wrong with you? Yeah, but there's always this little that barrier of entry that feels so it feels so unattainable, but it just it
I'm
is.
sure
It just
you're the only one that feels that way, Leslie. Like,
Just
I
say,
certainly don't feel that way.
it's like there's always sort of an adjustment period when I walk into a room or join a
Yeah,
yeah.
space. And
totally.
even as somebody who leads meditation a lot, there are some moments where like I was running to get there and I was almost
Oh
late.
my
And as
God.
I'm walking there, I'm like, breathe, feel your feet.
Mm.
Okay, you're coming to lead this now. And
Yeah,
I sit
right.
down and I start the practice sort of for myself, with
Helping
everybody
yourself, yeah.
else. And I just lead from
Yeah.
that place. So always acknowledging and kind of respecting that aspect
That
of
right,
yourself
that
because it
even
serves you
you
so well a lot of the time. I'm sure that
right.
It's
aspect of
there for a
yourself that's
reason.
so good at being so quick to figure things out, or
Yeah.
Totally.
be show up musically in whatever way you're used to or whatever.
Mhm.
It's all a really beautiful, important part of you. So almost giving that part of you a big hug as you sit down to
Yeah.
open to whatever is around you.
Yeah. Well, it had never even occurred to me that you might get performance anxiety because
Oh yeah.
you are performing
Oh,
this thing where you were the person who's like the most grounded in the room, and it's like,
let
how
me
is that
let me tell you,
possible?
Leslie, about my music school experience and my voice studio and
Was
my
it
teacher
stressful
holding
and
on to
shameful?
me. Yeah.
Always
I was the
shameful.
student that she held on to. She made sing with weights, so it's
Oh, wow.
interesting.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely an aspect of my experience, and it continues.
Yeah.
And it calls me back to the practice every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Oh, that is very comforting. That is very comforting and disarming. It's sort of like, oh, okay, it's gonna be okay, everybody. We're gonna
Yeah.
be
It's gonna be
Oh
okay.
great.
yeah.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be great.
we'll hold your hand through it all, really,
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
sound
With sound. Yeah.
and
Hmm.
yeah,
guidance.
and
Yeah.
guidance. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you for preparing what will be a beautiful, profound, no pressure, but uh, a life affirming, life changing, obviously, or just a whatever.
Hmm.
It is whatever you bring to it. But thank you for preparing this show. I'm really very much looking forward to it. It's going to be so
So are
beautiful.
Our
we.
pleasure. We're
Yeah, our
excited.
pleasure, really.